Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's kind of a light card on Thursday, yet it's really bettable. So we got some good plays to get down. We've already got 3 client plays up. So there's a lot to talk about. We've got NHL, we've got NBA. Dan, tell us what we got going on for today's show.
Yeah, man, you mentioned it's a light card for Thursday. Well, it makes sense because we got a light card here for you on the show as far as guests are concerned, but quality at an all-time high. We got Yanni the Greek. He is back. That's right. We give him off Tuesday and Wednesday. He comes back firing for you on Thursday. We've seen some action happen in NBA. What does that mean for anyone who's getting stuff down in the future market and some line moves? Yanni the Greek is going to break down all of those for you in just a few moments here on the show. And then special guest here on a Thursday. We got the birthday boy. Can't believe it. It's Prez's birthday, and Prez will be in the house. Will he be heel clicking and dancing? You'll need to stay tuned to find out. But Andy, rough night for us with injuries and whatnot. We'll address that in just a few. But let's get the stink off with the WagerTalk Today play of the day. We're giving away a high client play on this one, simply as a guys. We will ride another day, and let's ride on Mikal Bridges. What do we got, Andy?
Yeah, this is our 4% NBA best bet. We lost our 5% last night when on Jalen. We had Jalen Williams over points plus rebounds. He played 5 minutes and pulled his hamstring. So just a brutal loss, especially because he played 5 minutes and he was on pace for 1 stat per minute.
Yeah.
So we were on pace to fly over. So kind of a little olive branch. Let's get back to the winning ways. I don't know why 4% NBA best bets have been hitting so well. Like you put that percentage with the sport. So this is our play tonight. Let's go back to Mikal Bridges over 16.5 points plus rebounds. We hit two nights ago on his points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to take the assists out because he only had 2 potential assists and 1 assist. This is a great spot for him. He had 23 in game 1, none of them in overtime. So he's had 16 plus in 6 straight in the playoffs, and his usage and involvement have just really shot up the last 6 games. He's getting 12 shot attempts the last 4 games. He's averaging 10 rebound chances. He plays a ton of minutes. You even saw a couple of his baskets last game were on steals. He's really active defensively, and the Cavs can turn the ball over. So don't be surprised if 2, maybe even 4 points come from a steal and an open layup. They do use Alvarado and Jordan Clarkson off the bench, but the Knicks are riding with their starters. So look for increased minutes from all of their starters. And he's a versatile player, and the Cavs, they're going to be focused. The other nice thing is, boy, they're going to be focusing on Brunson tonight. They're going to be doing whatever they can to not let Brunson go off. So I would say some of these other players like Mikal Bridges, this is a perfect night for him to have a good one. So this is our 4% play of the day. And there was somebody left a comment how we lost 2 bets in a row. And I would just like to correct him. It's 3 bets in a row on the play of the day. And I don't care. Here's why. When we do plays of the day, the goal is not to win 1, 2, whatever. The goal is at the end of the year, are we profitable? And we want to try and hit that 55%. I would love to hit 58% on the plays of the day. So right now we're 18 and 11. We keep that percentage up, we're good. But I'm not going to lose sleep over 1 or 2 losses in a row. We're going to celebrate our wins. We'll talk about our losses. But if you're following the plays of the day, I cannot emphasize this enough. You have to play all of them or none of them. You can't cherry pick like, oh, which one I like. You have to just ride with all of them or none of them on the plays of the day. So if you just played 2 of them and 2 lost and you're like, oh, I'm out of here.
You think we suck?
It's also not meant for you. You're not built for this. You got to ride over the long term. So we're going to have ups. We're going to have downs. We hit that 55, 58%. We're going to be pretty good. So let's bring on Yanni. But Dan, after Yanni, we'll break down what we watched last night. The nightmare of the Spurs and Thunder injuring each other. Dan and I will get into it. So, Yanni, first off, happy Thursday. Man, what are we going to do with no UFC this weekend? I'm betting PFL.
You got me into PFL and LFA, and I spent the last 2 evenings breaking down PFL and LFA, and I actually I like one PFL, one LFA bet, and I got 6 PFL Mina bets that I'm going to try to confirm throughout today or this evening, morning by latest, see which ones I could pass along as premium plays, because it's a good card, man. Solid card. Mostly chalk, but that's usually the case in those smaller promotions a lot of the times. And, I'm okay with that. But I'm sorry. I'm just putting in a trade. I've been getting up really early and doing some trading. Make a long story short, it's just been going really, really, really well. And it carries over so well in the sports betting, because with trading, it's the way I'm a charter. So it's strictly technical trading, strictly reading the chart. And so you're simply putting a price in where you want to buy. And if the market reaches there, it executes your trade. And then you see how your trade does. And the key is you're not cheering anything in. You're not watching it daily. You're doing your research. You're determining what the price should be, where the value is. You set a price for that value. You lock in how many shares you want if the price gets there. And if it gets there, you fire. If it doesn't get there, you don't execute because the value wasn't there. We need to carry that over into sports. The disconnect is that with stocks, no one's standing in front of like, let's say you own Facebook. Let's say you own Tesla. Let's say you own Google. No one's standing in front of Google. No one's standing in front of a Tesla dealership cheering in Tesla. Like, that's not what you're doing when you buy the stock, right? But with sports, we get emotionally attached. We're fans. So that disconnect becomes difficult, to disconnect from being a fan and actually just looking at it like a market. Like, these are prices. There's either value on team A or on team B or on neither. And I think, like, again, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but just there's just, especially when you get into this playoffs, like, it just becomes too much fans and too much I'm betting this team and less about what the number is. And we saw yesterday, the reason I'm bringing that up is a perfect example. I hit the under in the NHL game. Now, if you got 6.5, you got the under. If you got 6, you pushed. And that's a perfect example how shopping for the best line, and we talked about it earlier in the week, how the difference between a winning better and a losing better is 1 every 20 bets, that it makes a difference. So this is the long about way of price is everything. And when these games land close to the number, again, it's going to determine between winning and losing. And the perfect example is right now in the NBA. I'll carry it over to this NBA game, Cleveland and the Knicks. We're in a game 2, all right? So far, here's what we saw. Favored and over in the Cleveland Knicks game 1. We saw dog and over in the Spurs game 1. We saw favored and over in the game 2. So a lot of overs so far. And if you remember that the end of the last round, we saw a lot of overs in those game 6s, game 7s. With that said, wasn't surprised to see over get hit immediately when this total opened. They brought it out at 214. It got hit over immediately. But since then, as limits increased, I've been seeing nothing but under bets in the accounts. So whenever they're able to see anytime a 216.5 pops up, it's getting picked off in these accounts. So conclusion, I do think the sharp side is under tonight. And I also think they're going to take out the 6s eventually, because I already saw they're taking out some 6.5s. I thought that was a numbers play because there were some rogue 6.5s out there, but I just don't think that's the case. It looks like Cleveland +6 will be legit. And the under, the books, they're getting Knicks and over from the public. So seems like the sharps are opposite the public tonight. That's usually a good thing for the books, as long as the line don't move too significantly and they can't get middled. It puts them in a good spot. So conclusion in the NBA, publics on Knicks and over, sharps are on Cleveland and the under. Historically, teams like the Knicks that win game 1 and are up 1-0, 6 out of 10 times they've won game 2 at home. in this round. In all the rounds of the NBA playoff, it's only about 56, 57%. So again, regardless of where they're playing, when they're playing at home, like the Knicks have done in game one, they're home for the series. The team that won game one has won game two 70% of the time. They're 66-29 in game two. So sharp money's bucking a very strong trend for the Knicks. But again, let's not forget, the spread becomes the great equalizer. So the Knicks could win the game and not cover. But so far in the playoffs, we've seen that the points really haven't mattered. Favorites covered convincingly, or dogs have been pretty much winning outright. So, yeah, that's interesting factors to determine going into tonight. That's for sure.
I mean, that is, I don't know, man. Saying the overhit and the Knicks covered last game with that game script, they're down 20 late in the fourth. The overhits with overtime. Does the public take this into? It's impossible for you to say, but I'm looking at that. I would be looking at that going, man. They needed overtime to get over.
To get to the over, right? Yes.
It's the over. The Knicks covered in overtime when they were down 20. Man, I don't know. I guess you could say, well, Cleveland that was their chance. They probably get blown out tonight. That was their chance to split. So I don't know. We'll see. What are you seeing with NHL? Interesting series you got going tonight. We got the Carolina way off, like long rest. Montreal coming in off the incredible series. What are we seeing in NHL tonight? Well,
even though Montreal's owned Carolina in the season series, I think they've won every single game against them. We haven't seen any sharp money, and I was surprised. I thought you would see sharp money come in and pick off Montreal because they like those teams like that. Because when you look at these two teams on paper, power rating wise, they're pretty close. Like I was kind of hoping Buffalo advanced past Montreal. Obviously, I had a future on Buffalo, but more so because of the trouble that Carolina's had with Montreal. But on paper, this is an easier matchup, meaning Carolina power rating, I have them number one. They're the number one offense, the number one defense with the number one strength of schedule. Dude, you can't get better than that. Like the fact that we're set up on the future with this team and getting about 3-1 on our money is ridiculous. Because again, you almost never see this in any sport where statistically the analytics show their number one offense, their number one defense, and they managed to do this against the number one strength of schedule. Carolina is the team to beat, that's for sure. It's will anyone beat them? And I think that's why they're a 2-1 favorite tonight, even though Montreal's owned them in the series. And that's why they're minus 270 to win this series. Again, even though Montreal has had no problem beating them this year. Like, that's the one team Carolina hasn't been able to beat. And yet they're still minus 270 in this series. And they just played. Like, 2 of their games were in March. It's not as if we're talking about October games that Montreal beat them in October or, November, December. It doesn't matter. No. Montreal beat them at home March 24th at plus 105 dogs. And then they beat them March 29th, just a month ago, as plus 140 dogs in Carolina. So again, sharps say that I don't care about the regular season. It's the playoffs. Carolina's the best team. And that's why you're seeing this high of a number. Like, they haven't gotten involved. I'm not saying that's what the sharps are saying, but the fact that they're not grabbing Montreal, especially after you saw what Vegas did yesterday, is such a telling sign that Carolina is just that strong on paper. And the under, I'll give you that. The under got steamed as well. Public bet the under also, no surprise, but that's why the 6 is gone now. There were 6s across that board all morning, but that's no longer the case. They took them out this morning. I sent that out to subscribers actually on the under at 6. And again, now you're looking at 5.5s, I think, everywhere.
I was looking at player props this morning. I was like, ooh, there's a guy who he scored in almost every game in the Buffalo series for Montreal. And I was like, ooh, we're going to take his under on points. And then I looked and he had like 4 points against Carolina. I was like, wait a minute, Montreal owns Carolina? What is this?
Yeah, really crazy, right?
Seth asks, is now the time to bet the Avs series? Are we seeing anything with that?
Ooh, Love that question, my friend. Love that question, because I was asking myself that exact thing this very morning. Here's what I can tell you, Seth. In the NHL, all right, teams like Vegas that are up 1-0 in this exact round, right before the Stanley Cup Finals, when they win game 1, okay, they've lost game 2 65% of the time, but they've won the series 6 out of 10 times. So this is dangerous right now for Colorado, historically, meaning when you lose that game 1 at home, 6 out of 10 times you've lost that series. So that's a tough spot historically for Colorado. Now, you take each matchup individually, obviously. And how does Vegas match up with Colorado? On paper, Colorado shouldn't have that big of a difficulty. Power rating wise, I have Colorado as the second best team in the NHL. I have Vegas as the 5th best team in the NHL. So obviously Colorado's better on paper. But the problem is Vegas had the much tougher strength of schedule, and they're balanced. They're like, top 10 offense, top 10 defense, where with Colorado, you're talking about top 5s on offense and defense, where Vegas is top 10s offense and defense, but with a tougher schedule. So again, this will be a tough series. I wouldn't lay Colorado right now, only because I'm being asked to lay minus 125, 130. And I don't like it. If it was if I could get them at even money, like if the script flip, which obviously it's not going to happen, then I would look at it. But right now, I wouldn't look at Colorado, just because, again, they're just a tough out. Like they're a tough out for anybody. They have that experience. They have Stanley Cup experience. And even though coming into the series, obviously Colorado was the cream of the West, and we talked about that. That's who we were going to have to beat, with either Buffalo or Carolina in my futures. But now I'm not too sure. We may be facing Vegas in this Stanley Cup, so I'm not betting it. I look for those adjusted series odds, but I haven't gotten involved.
Pretty light MLB slate. Like it's like getaway day. I don't know. I don't think we have a play up. These are the days that kind of scare me. This is like a lot of variance that could happen today. Or what are you seeing with MLB?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's exactly kind of what's happening. Here's what I got from the Steam sheet. And you're right, not much. 901 under 8.5 and 8. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, they laid 130, not to have to use 7.5. Mets and Washington, they went under 8.5, up to minus 130. They're fading the public there, obviously. Back to back, it's been sharps on one side, public on the other, where the public's betting over Mets Washington. Sharps going to be going under Mets Washington. They also took Miami again at plus 140, plus 130. They took Miami yesterday on the money line and the run line. That has not worked out well. Baseball hasn't done good so far to date, meaning if the season was over today, I would have a losing MLB season. And more importantly, the groups that I'm working with would have a probably, I don't think they're profitable yet. Again, I don't release everything these guys are betting because there's so much volume, and they're even betting live in-game stuff. So maybe overall they may be slightly profitable, but it hasn't been a good baseball season yet. And what usually happens with baseball is they usually start the season on fire where their models are really clicking. And then about the All-Star break, they're up maybe 20, 30, 40 positions, and things start to go south, and a lot of them start to shut it down. Like the books adjust, the market corrects itself at the All-Star break, it appears. And if they start bleeding some units, they usually shut it down and move on to football and are happy we made this much this year in baseball. But that just hasn't been the case. So I'm hoping it's one of those years where after they accumulate data, they have like a really strong second half. Like I've had seasons, one of our best was just like that, where the first month or two, I was like, what is going on? And then that last 8 weeks, they just annihilated. I hope we don't have to wait till August and September for that to happen. But that's what's been going on so far in baseball. Oh, didn't want to forget, I released 5 soccer bets that are going off over the next 3 days. all of them 4%, which for us is 1% of bankroll. And they're available still. They're in leagues that, like Finland, Argentina. So they're leagues that are readily available for everyone. And I'm sure I clicked free for all 5 also. So make sure you go to WagerTalk.com. Hopefully all 5 are up for free, but at least a handful of them are. If you follow or fade, I hope you make some money. But that's what's pretty much going on today. Baseball, NBA, NHL. It seems like NHL and NBA are going to get all of the action. And because it's a small board in baseball, no one's in any rush. People are still probably relaxing, having breakfast. No one's really in a rush when it's a slow day like today.
Yeah. I would nominate UFC as a sport that has started. Traditionally, the first half of the year has been great with UFC, and we tend to give units back later in the year, and it's been quite the opposite. We've actually been a little bit better recently, but the first part of the year was awful.
And doesn't that make sense? Because if you have a certain system that you use, whether it's a model or a handicapping approach, like if you found an edge and you're beating it, you expect eventually an efficient market to kind of correct itself, even, not for good, even in that short time. So like if you start seeing you're bleeding off some units and you crushed early, I see nothing wrong with slowing it down or shutting it down completely and just calling it a winning season. Like, again, the goal is to make money doing this, or else do something else. Like if you're using this as an investment vehicle, then treat it as an investment. And if you profit, no one's ever went broke taking a profit. Like I know a lot of people that have gone broke waiting for profit, but I've never seen anyone go broke taking a profit. So again, if you're up, and there's nothing wrong with shutting it down, moving on to the next thing, the next market, next sport, next season, whatever. Because again, the goal at the end of the day is to make money. However, whatever, that's the reason. At least that's why I do this, or else there'd be a lot, funner things to do with my time.
Nice. What do you have up for everyone?
All right. The Steam sheet is up. There's a 4% in there for today. More stuff will be added throughout the day. Obviously, there's NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball. There was a college baseball game today, this morning, South Alabama, but the number just wasn't there for us. And if anything like that comes in, I will share that also. And that's it, man. Just grinding. Best of luck to all the rest of the week.
Thank you very much, Yanni. Getting us ready for Thursday, and tomorrow we'll try and talk a little PFL.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll have it narrowed down by then. Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Andy. Best of luck, boys.
Yep. Appreciate you, man.
Yep. There's some awful odds in PFL. I mean, the main event is minus 1,800. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That's tough.
Well, just the co-main minus 625. Let's put together the PFL is putting out a card where if you parlayed the favorites in the co-main and the main, it's minus 455. It is just
epic.
PFL. I do like the new guy who's in charge of PFL. He's at least got half a brain, but then they do stuff like this, and you're going like, what? Benson Henderson's fighting in a main event, and whatever,
and a weekend that they don't have to go toe to toe with UFC. You feel like you address the card
silver platter,
right? Yeah,
silver platter. It is. So, all right, let's talk about last night, Dan, because the nightmare scenario for the Western Conference and the dream scenario for the Eastern Conference is taking place. The Thunder and the Spurs. This series is physical. Hartenstein got away with murder last night. He even pulled Castle's hair and didn't get called for a foul. If you want to see on social media, Chet Holmgren blatantly stepping on Wemby's ankle, and we watched Dylan Harper pull a hamstring, J-Dub pull a hamstring. Hamstrings, you can't play in the NBA with these. The Knicks are plus 425 to win everything. I'm just saying. Saying.
It really does. It feels like in the Eastern Conference, you have two teams who are playing each other, right? In the Western Conference, you have two teams that are beating the absolute piss out of each other. I mean, every single time down the court, somebody maybe it's SGA flopping a little bit, but somebody ends up on the hardwood on each possession, man. It really is. One of the announcers said it. You have two of your better players sitting in the locker room. It felt like a heavyweight fight, and that's kind of what we expected. You know what I mean? But as Andy said, as you're trying to extrapolate what it means moving forward here, where there could potentially be some quote unquote value, if you're in the Eastern Conference, you're looking at what's happened over there in the West, and you're like, man, I'm glad I'm not playing over there. And if we could wrap this thing up, if I'm the Knicks, I'm trying to expend as much energy as possible, get some rest and chill, and just sit back and watch this heavyweight bout go back and forth. Because man, that is some serious big boy basketball going on over there in the West.
Yeah, I mean, J-Dub, that's his second hamstring pull. I don't see how he comes back. Done. If he does, he's going to have to be, operating at half speed. And Harper, I thought it was his foot, and they showed the replay, and no, it's his hamstring. It's a real problem. So we talked about it, and it's coming to fruition. So we got to keep our eye on it. So let's see. We do have a pretty big betting card tonight, actually, guys. We had a 4% WNBA. I already gave you the 4% NBA. But I attached a cricket play. The cricket play goes off tomorrow afternoon, but I included it tonight. WNBA is 6-1 to start the season. So we're really, really happy with the reads in WNBA. So we got 3-4% plays that are up. We still have the 3-day pass. So a lot of good things. The 5% last night was just so frustrating, and it hurts way more when I see how many people jumped on board, and several of you guys are saying this is the thing. Depending on the book, some of you got refunded, and DraftKings does it. Bet365 at least gives you bonus bets and stuff. But on our end, it just goes down as a loss, and it's just you're just so mad, and you're mortified, and you feel awful. And it's not even our bets. It's just seeing how many people jumped on board, and you go, God, 5 minutes and he's out. Like we didn't even get a chance to show it. So we bounced back and move on. I'm about 16 hours of misery. After you
have to wash it. You have to move on. And those ones, when you have a 5%er that people hop on, that's why it hurts so much. And also the fashion in which it happened, because he goes in the game, the handicap of him being underrated and being undervalued because, hey, okay, he's coming back from injury. He looked great. He was averaging, like you said, one of our stat metrics per minute that he was on the floor, and then he pulls the hammy. You know what I mean? So that fashion of losing, of like being like, oh, okay, our cap was good, let's ride, and then having it stripped away, that's where it hurts a little bit more. But like you said, you have to flush it. You have to move on. And that's also why you gave away your 4%er for free right at the top of the show, the Mikal Bridges over points and rebounds. Because it's like, yeah, we know that you guys are probably pissed off, but we got to ride and we got to get right back to it, Andy. So I like it. 16 hours, flush it. And it's Mikal Bridges time.
Yeah, we're going with Mikal Bridges tonight. Before we get to Prez, somebody had asked about a parlay juke. Already lined up a 7-leg parlay yesterday. 4 of the legs are locked up. What are your thoughts on Brunson going for 20+ points, Mobley 10+ points, and Mikal Bridges 2+ rebounds? Brunson probably good. Bridges probably good. Mobley is the wild card. Mobley can lay eggs. He shouldn't tonight, but if there's one guy that I would be worried about, it would be Mobley. But you can live bet that thing. Where you're in a position, you can live bet some of these player props if you're on a DraftKings or FanDuel. So have your live lines open, see how the first half is going, and then just do something to lock in your profits. So, but when you're going to do something like this, have a plan. Map out where you need to be at with some of these props. Monitor foul trouble. Don't just be willy-nilly firing off live bets. Do the math as to what you need to hedge. But you should be able to come out with profit if you're monitoring those. So. All right, let's bring in the Prez.
The birthday man.
Well,
the birthday man.
Yeah,
Let's
tomorrow
go,
is my birthday. I am still only 56 years old today. And tomorrow I will not be a year older. I will only be 11 hours and 30 minutes older. So anyway, well, isn't that a fact?
It is.
Yes.
It's you're not wrong, Prez. And Prez, you don't look a day over 55, man. You look absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing, my friend.
Well, Dan, I don't need to hear that from you. Thank you. I don't care what you think of my looks. I care about Andy.
No, that was
Andy,
positive.
what do you think of
That was
my
complimentary.
looks?
That was complimentary.
I think you're going for the rugged look. Rugged is the term that you use when it's rough.
Guys,
rough.
Guys, thanks for having me on today. I'm in the midst of something special that is going on right now. And I can sum it up like this, okay? And I want to tell you guys, stay with us because I'm going to give you bets on tonight's hockey game, a future bet on the Colorado Avs, Colorado Vegas. I got a parlay at plus 155 to give you guys that is like spectacular. Maybe my best parlay ever. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to bet the NBA game tonight. So stay with us all the way through on that. But before we get into that, guys, I'm on a run that I have not been on in a long, long time. Look,
Unreal.
I have done a 16-0 run in my life. That's the highest I've ever gotten without losing a game. And I got to tell you, it was like over a decade ago. I am currently on one of those kind of a runs. I am on a 14-1 NHL totals run and a 13-1 NHL run. I'm on an 8-2 NBA run and a 9-0 NBA totals run. I am 67% in total bets since December 1st. Think about that. That is close to 7 out of 10. December, January, February, March, April, and most of May. And you want to know how hot I am? I'm turning 55 tomorrow instead of 57. I'm actually going down a year.
You're aging backwards.
In all seriousness,
it's crazy though, man.
Dan, in all seriousness, I was on the over on the Cleveland Knicks game 1.
Yeah.
Winner.
I
was on the over in the San Antonio OKC game.
Never in doubt.
Winner. I was on the over in yesterday's Vegas, Colorado game.
Never in doubt.
It's like the gods are betting my plays. That's the slogan, by the way, of today. The gods are betting my plays.
That sounds like a 3 Sharp single if I've ever heard one.
We might have one dropping tomorrow on the best betting show ever.
Wow.
We might have a 3 Sharps single dropping tomorrow. The Mars perspective. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate the love. It's really been one of the most amazing 6 months periods of my betting life, and it is not over. And I have a total in the NBA game tonight and a total in the NHL game tonight. Okay.
All right. Well, Prez, why don't you can pick? Do you want to talk NBA or NHL first?
I'm doing it all, bro. Doing it all.
Yeah, no.
Doing it all.
Doing it all. I know you're doing it all, but I'm saying which one do you want to do first for the folks, Prez? Because let's get
our NHL over with, okay?
Okay, because I was going to say, let's start in the one you're hot in, and it's all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I won my last 2 baseball plays, and I'm 11-4 in baseball totals on the year.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's talk tonight's matchup. That's where we'll start off. We'll do this Canadians and Hurricanes game. Super intriguing because the Hurricanes have just kind of been sitting around waiting, right? And we talked about these heavyweight bouts that Canadians and Sabres series was just back and forth. You know what I mean? So they're coming in with momentum. But this is the old rest versus rust, Prez. So what are you thinking? Canadians versus the Hurricanes. How are you looking to break this one down?
Well, interestingly enough, we will talk rest versus rust in both sports. We saw rust with the Knicks in game 1, and then we saw rest help them towards the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
In hockey, rest is the single most important thing. This is not a game. For all of you golfers out there, we start the season and we struggle to putt. We don't struggle to drive. We don't struggle with our long irons. We struggle with our lob wedges, and we struggle to putt. And the reason for that is touch comes with time. And the NBA is a game of touch. The NHL is not. It's a game of speed and aggression. You shoot the puck at the net. The goalie saves it or he doesn't save it. Carolina in regulation tonight is a really, really strong bet from my perspective. It's one of those, we want to bet against hockey teams who have won a tough series in Game 7 while another team is sitting waiting. Now, some will say, well, what about the Colorado Avalanche last night? Well, Vegas did not play 7 games against Anaheim, and Vegas was extremely well rested going into that game. A different scenario. So Carolina, I will never bet into a losing proposition trend. Don't bet teams that win in Game 7 against a well-rested team in the NHL. You do that on a regular basis, you lose your money. I am not going to bet into that at all. Carolina wins tonight in regulation, and Carolina wins the series, guys. I don't think this is going to be a close series. I think Carolina wins 4-1 or 4-2.
I love it, Prez. Yeah, it's just, my Flyers ran into this Hurricanes buzzsaw. I think the Canadians are maybe a little bit more adept at putting up a fight, but it's hard to think that this, who arguably is one of the fastest teams in hockey, won't take care of business. Thoughts on what we saw last night in that Vegas and Colorado Avalanche series? What does it mean for you moving forward? Is it panic mode? What do you think?
Yeah, so I told you guys I had a 5% play on the over, so I really didn't care who won the game, but I did want Vegas to win the game. And why did I want Vegas to win the game? Because I wake up today and I find Colorado at -125 to win the series, and I think, hello, lover. I love Colorado -125 to win the series. I think that is an unbelievable bet. Now, I do think this is going to be a close series, and Vegas is a good team. But if you watch that game, in the immortal words of every person who's ever lived and born in Boston, kind of hot was the difference. And he stood on his head. And there were 4 goalposts by Colorado. So, you can't account for a super hot goalie and some bad puck luck. I think Colorado wins the series, and I think at -125, kind of hot, will not get it done. And I want to tell you guys, if you parlay Colorado to win the series and Carolina to win the series, that's a +154 parlay bet. Hello, threesome.
Say that.
Hello, lover. I need Andy's thoughts on the parlay.
Say that play again, Lawrence. Run it by me again. Carolina to win.
Carolina to beat Montreal, series bet. Doesn't matter how many games. Colorado to beat Vegas, series bet. Doesn't matter how many games. +155. Come on. I mean, that is like Charlize Theron and Sydney Sweeney had a baby that ended up being 35 years old. That's how hot that parlay is.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you.
Charlize is too old and Sydney's too young, so try to find my perfect woman, Dan.
I like that one. I'll throw a couple shekels on that one. I like that bet. I love series. I love series bets. We cashed a big one on Carolina last series, parlayed with San Antonio against Minnesota -1.5 games. I think series bets are fantastic. So when you mentioned that, you absolutely had my attention. I don't think people know that that's a market that you can really exploit. There's too many people that, I only want to bet for tonight. I don't want to wait on the money. And it's like, no.
You have action on every single game then. You have action on every game.
Yeah, and also you got hedging opportunities. But what I like is future parlays. And you know me, Andy, I don't like parlays. So I don't normally go out looking for parlays, but I do like future parlays. I came on this very show 2 weeks ago, I think, or might have been the best betting show ever. Man, they all blend. And I said, take Vegas, Carolina, and Colorado, 3-team future parlay. It ended up being around -147 or something. And that cashed. And I'm going to say it again. This is as good a parlay bet as I have seen, plus money-wise, in years.
I just
Okay.
bet it. It's a squad ride,
Yeah.
Prez. Let's do it. It's Prez's freaking birthday. The dude is on a hell of a run. This has to be a squad ride. Colorado and the Carolina Hurricanes. I just locked it in.
Well,
Thank
then
you,
we got to play the drop. Squad ride. I'm not letting it ride, but I'm squad riding.
Do you know that?
Ride.
Do you know that the
Squad.
world's most talented operation expert on the planet, Johnny Detroit, the executor of execution, the god of gods, our leader, the fearless? I hope he's listening to this.
Yeah,
the
seriously.
handsomest,
I haven't seen him in the chat though, Prez. You're really wasting
sexiest man on the planet. I mean, if you like bald, you like Johnny. His original company was called Let It Ride Sports.
Ooh,
Was it really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
that little trivia.
There you go.
You know what? We're gonna do, Andy. We're gonna do one of our giveaways for comments, and it won't be today, but lock that one away because we'll do a Know the Show trivia at some point next week. So remember that little clue that Prez just gave for you when we do the Know the Show trivia. It'll be your chance to win something pretty special. Andy, real quick before we talk NBA, do you got anything for Prez here?
Yeah, Lawrence, I made something for you. You ready?
The best is the hat. The best part of that video is the hat. That's hilarious. ChatGPT or whoever couldn't find me without a hat.
Well, no, I wanted I made it while you were going over because I took I wanted to take a screenshot of what you were wearing today.
And how I'm going down in age from 56 to 55. I love it.
Brought it full circle.
Yeah.
Prez, speaking of going down in age, what's not going down is you and your clients' bankrolls right now, man. This run, absolutely awesome, dude. We should give out the promo code before we talk NBA here. So let's just talk about the fact. Prez's birthday, folks. If you love what he does, we wouldn't even be doing this shows. We wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for the man who's sitting above me on the screen here right now. So, Prez, you know how much love I have for you, brother. So whenever we get to circle back around, birthdays are a great time to celebrate people we care about. This is a chance for folks who love our content, who love our site, who love what we do here to ride with one of the guys who founded this company, and we wouldn't be here without. So $57 gets you 7 days. And Prez, I mean, we talked about the runs you're on. This is a great time to hop on. And it's a great, pretty low price point just to say happy birthday, Prez.
Dan, I really appreciate that. And just for the record, if you guys want to see what a 57-year-old can do, look at that.
I got to go full screen on that.
Look at that. I mean, come on. Come on. 57, baby. Okay. I don't know what is up with me today, Dan, but I love NBA. I actually don't love NBA. I think it's a weird sport, but
you can make money on it.
Betting. And yeah, dude, do you know I'm five seasons, 5 winning NBA seasons in a row.
Well, keep it going, brother.
Everybody knows me as an NHL expert. My NBA has destroyed my NHL. My NBA has been the best sport I have bet in half a decade. So I'm not just an NHL guy. So you want to get into the Knicks tonight?
Yeah. Let's talk game 2 here.
I'm going to break this game down for you guys, okay? Bottom line, I like the Knicks. I like them at -6. We've seen some money coming in on the Cavaliers. It was flirting with 7 last night. I was actually trying to decide, do I end up releasing the Knicks? I ended up not. I'm on the total instead. But it was a good thing I waited anyway. We did see a little line drop. So now we have the Knicks at -6, -6.5. And let me tell you why they're going to win this game. First and foremost, the Knicks showed a lot of rust. They did not play for 10 days, and we saw it affect them. They went 2 for 19 from three-point range. That is not going to happen again. So when you look at which team has the opportunity to improve offensively versus the last game. The New York Knicks, man, they turned the ball over all game. They went through inefficient stretches. If they can clean up their possessions, and if they can hit more than 2 of 19 at three-point range, they are going to score way more points than they did last game. We also saw OG Anunoby come back after missing 2 games, and he looked like a guy who really hadn't played in a while. So here we had a New York Knicks team that came into game 1 with a lot of rust. They really couldn't get their act together. Same with OG and Jalen Brunson, and everything changed in the last 7-8 minutes of that game. The Knicks were able to figure Cleveland out. Cleveland looked super tired. The New York Knicks were able to run the offense that they're trying to run. They were able to make the adjustments they needed to make, and they got the job done. So I look at this game and I say, man, Cleveland tried their damnedest. I think Cleveland played as good a game as they could play on the road, and they still couldn't win the game. Now, they did cover. They didn't with overtime, but they covered the regulation line. But I think we get a worse Cleveland team tonight, a regression, and I think we get a better New York Knicks team tonight. So on top of that, look at Madison Square Gardens, how good the Knicks have been all year at home. Look at how bad Cleveland has been on the road, and especially in the playoffs. Now, they won Game 7 against Detroit. Kudos to them. But this is not a playoff warrior Cleveland team. So we got a bad road team in Cleveland, one of the best home teams in the league in the New York Knicks. We got a Knicks team that played as bad as they could possibly play for 3.5 quarters and still won. We got a Cleveland team that played as good as they could possibly play for 3.5 quarters and still lost. I also think Cleveland is carrying fatigue with them. And I think we saw that at the end of the game in game 1. I think Cleveland is going to be really tired tonight, guys. I think Cleveland's sort of, energy game will be in game 3 at home. So I look at this game and I think to myself, I think this could be the blowout game in the series. This could be that one game where it just gets away from Cleveland and gets away from them fast. And then I will look to bet Cleveland coming back because they have been an incredible road team, a home team in the playoffs. So I think we're set up now for a New York Knicks -6 game 2, and then Cleveland, give or take, -6 game 3. So that's sort of how I'm looking at it. What do you guys think?
I'm on player props. I got Mikal Bridges in this one. I do think that if there's a blowout, it's going to be on the Knicks. But sometimes the zigzag theory has worked. I don't know. Nothing would surprise me with this game tonight. So I'd have to say it's a no opinion for me.
I do, Dan, before you jump in, I do want to say one thing, just sort of as we do on Best Betting Show, ever a public service announcement. The zigzag theory is not what it used to be. So I just want you guys to understand that. And first impressions, it takes so long to get rid of first impressions. Like, everyone still thinks I talk a lot. It's not what it used to be. Don't handicap around the zigzag theory.
I
know you didn't. I'm just saying generally. Because a lot of people are always looking zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. It's not what it used to be. It's still a factor, but it's not what it used to be.
Prez, all that I was going to add to what you were saying was, I think, when you handicap a game, you try and handicap both sides of it, right? And there's a hell of a lot. There's many more paths of breaking down a Knicks blowout in this game than an outright Cleveland win, in my opinion.
That's a great point.
And if I'm betting a dog, I want to be able to make a case for an outright win. And I think, you kind of broke it down. how you play that rusty and you get the 22-point comeback and you get the win in overtime, where overtime Cleveland waved the white flag. You know what I mean? That wasn't a, hey, let's bet on this team the next game. The effort that you saw there in overtime. And the Knicks, if they're hitting threes, forget about it. This game could be over before you ever even step on the court.
Yeah, and Dan, contrary to any other sport, a quarterback goes out and they go, 12 for 20 in the first game of the season. They can go 12 for 20 in the second game. In the NBA, shooting percentages matter. When you go 2 for 19 from the 3-point spot in game 1, you do not go 2 for 19 in game 2. Very important. Go look at the field percentage. Cleveland was hitting lights out, bro. And also, you got to take into account the emotional psyche of these teams. I think Cleveland is sitting in the dressing room saying, man, that girl was hot. We tried our best. We brought our A game. We put on our best suit. We did our hair. We gelled it up. We cut our nose hairs. Yes, that's a thing for you young people. We definitely do groom our nose hairs. We went to the bar. We brought our best wingman. We used our best lines, and she still left with Dan Alexander. I'm pretty damn upset about it. Whereas Dan Alexander is sitting there going, man, that guy did all the work, and I just walked out with the girl. Oh, yeah.
This hair just doesn't happen, Prez. There's plenty of work going on both sides of the ledger. But, Prez, truly, man, anytime that we get you on here, we had you on last week, the comments loved it. They were like, we need more Prez. So you always bring the thunder. It makes me even happier that you are just hitting like crazy.
Thank you.
As you're heading towards your birthday, guys. So take advantage of it. Right now, he has, a great package up that's $29. You also can get some total action, $25. You can get both of that, for basically the price you're getting here, $57, and it gives you 7 days of all access. Any 5%ers, $35. WT.buzz/LP. Under $60, $57 gets you $100 worth of picks here. And you don't even have to memorize any code. It's right on Prez's page. So Prez, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for coming on. Happy birthday. And $55 more years, Prez. 55 more years.
Look at John. I thought he was 65. I can tell. That's okay. I don't care. My mom says, what's the alternative to growing old?
It's a good point. That's a great point.
I love you guys. Thanks for doing this, man. The show's exceptional. Be well. The chemistry between two of you are unbelievable. And I look forward to doing this again.
Thanks, Prez. $57 gets you action for a week. Gotta love the Prez. You're going to be entertained. And he was dropping some knowledge there. So comment below. Happy birthday, Prez. Head on over to the best betting show ever. Comment it there as well, Andy. Fun show today, man. We still got bets to give away.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Let's do all around the world. I just put in a client play. If you've got Mateus Schmid still at 68.5 on the round one score at the CJ Cup, take the under 68.5 on Schmid. There was going to be thunderstorms, and it looks like they're not getting them. Instead, the course is just really soft and super easy. Like Brooks Koepka's 8 under through 16. There's already 30 guys in the morning wave at 3 under or better. This guy finished 4th last week. I can't explain to you how easy this course is. This is a joke of a course. So if you want to get to, a round one score, and the line is dropping, so the books know what's going. So, all right, let's do all around the world. A couple good plays here. Mercury versus Sparks. People are asking about the Mercury over 89.5. If you can find the 89.5, go for it. I still like the 90.5. This is a Sparks team that is like, they're terrible on defense here. I have their numbers here of what they've given up in the last few games. 105, 87, 95, and 106. So their defense stinks. And the Mercury, they're coming off a really bad loss. They were 7.5-point favorites. They lost by 8 against the tempo. And this is a really, really nice rebound spot. So I like the Mercury to drop the hammer on the Sparks tonight, get up and over this total. And then NASCAR. I don't know why we need a 600-mile NASCAR race. This race takes for effing ever, Dan. Like, it starts when the sun is in the sky and it like ends at night. It's ridiculous, but it's a very bettable race because there's a lot of data. It's a cookie cutter. And Ty Gibbs, that should say top 10, not top 20, but you can't even bet top 20s in NASCAR. It's top 10 minus 120 is what that's supposed to say. So sorry about the graphics. He's in a rocket ship. He's a Nepo baby, just to put it lightly. His grandpa is Joe Gibbs, who owns the team. Ty Gibbs is a pretty decent driver, but one driver said on a podcast, Dan, he's like, I wish I could be in that car. Like imagine if he said something like, imagine if a good driver was in that car, how good he'd be. And he still is kicking ass. He's got top 10s at a slew of tracks, including Kansas, Darlington, Las Vegas. It's just over 600 miles. This car is just an absolute rocket. So he should be in the top 20. That is going to be a client play. I'm going to get with Jim over right after the show. But we are going to put up a NASCAR pack. It's going to be a racing pack for the weekend if we got any Formula One plays or anything. But NASCAR 8-1 run. These are the ways we can build bankrolls, guys. Lacrosse, NASCAR, some of these props, not Jalen Williams props, but other props. Other props are the way that we can build the bankrolls. So, all right.
And
I think that's it.
Andy, I'm trying to decide, are we going to have a lacrosse play or not? PLL is off this weekend because the NCAA National Championship is this weekend. So, if I don't have client plays on tomorrow's show, since we won't have Marco, we'll be a little bit lighter. So we'll break down. If you guys are interested, let us know in the comments. We can give you plays, at least leans on both of these semifinal games. And then the game is on Memorial Day. It's at 1:00. So we'll preview that obviously on Monday's show. We will be here on Memorial Day, folks. So make sure you tune in, hit that like button and subscribe.
The package today is $25. There's a 4% WNBA play, 4% NBA, and the cricket plus 4% that goes off tomorrow. Just get a 3-day pass. The 3-day pass is $49. That gets you the rest of the plays. So, all right, that's gonna do it for it. Like button, comment, and we'll give away a 3-day pass tomorrow. So we'll come up with somehow I'll go head to head with somebody, or we'll make things interesting tomorrow. So big show tomorrow. Thanks guys for watching. Good luck on your bets, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.